产品哦，他们都具备了叫做逆龄回春。那我们的贴片有这样的功能，要多久可以看得到？我可以变成年轻。
Okay, how fast after we apply PET scan can we anti-aging and rejuvenate?
How quickly?
Yeah, how quickly?
So there's really two answers to that. Well, there's several answers to that.
Okay.
The first thing is we can see anti-aging effects as quickly as 20 minutes.
OK， 就是其实我们在就是20分钟内，你可以看到一些抗老化的一些现象。
So I'll explain.
OK， 他会解释。
The first anti-aging effect that shows up is in the physical size of the cells.
OK， 那就是第一个现象的话，就是那个什么，那个你体内细胞的一个尺寸这样子。
So one of the things that happens over time is the cells in the body will start out, let's say, relatively large, and then they shrink over time as we age.
OK， 那就是你刚开始就是健康细胞它会比较大一点，那随着年龄的老化，它细胞就慢慢缩小。
And this begins at age 25.
啊，就是从25岁开始。
This can be measured electrically.
这个可以用那个仪器来测量的。
So we have a piece of equipment. It's called an RJL. Yeah.
就是这个RJL 一个仪器是可以测量这个细胞的。
And so what it will do is measure the electrical charge around the cell.
他们就是那个什么，那个去测试那个什么细胞的那一个电的那个一个范围这样子。
So you think of a ball that's this size and a ball that's this size.
就是你可以测到，就是说那个什么一个球是这个大还是这个 size 这样。
So we can get more electrical charges around the outside of this ball, and we can get less electrical charges around this ball.
因为你可以测到这个球的话，它外面的电流的，就是可以用电流来测试这个球的大小。
So we can use a machine to measure this.
对，那我是可以用仪器来测量的。
Now, aging is usually a one-way street.
OK， 那就是那个什么，你老化的话就是非常的直接。
So with the exception of the last 10 or 15 years, in biology, it was always believed that the cell would shrink and there was nothing you could do to change that.
OK， 在这近10年到15年，就是说科学家认为说，你那个细胞的话，一旦是缩小的话，是你没有办法去做什么事情的。
But as early as 2005, we did studies with the energy patches with the RJL.
OK， 那我们2005年的话，我们就用那个什么 RJL 来测试那个能量贴片使用后的一个效果。
And we found that within 20 minutes, the size of the cells would expand about 15 to 20%.
就是说，那个使用的能量贴片20分钟之后，我们可以测量到它那个什么细胞的尺寸可增加15到20%。
So that's one of the first anti-aging effects that shows up. 20 minutes.
那就是这是第一个，就是那个什么，就是抗衰老可以反转的一个证明这样子。
Well, drink water because water is necessary for the production of cellular energy, and it also is required to facilitate detoxification. So as we increase the metabolism, if we don't have enough water, that'll be a rate-limiting factor. And if we don't have enough water, we can facilitate the removal of the natural metabolic wastes.
那我就他想说，那我们是不是要马上就要喝水？他说对，那喝水的话，对这个整个的代谢系统是非常重要的这样子。
So the second anti-age 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks.
就是那第二个就是你可以显示到那个抗老化的效果，大概4周内你可以看到。
And we have a number of these studies that are posted on our website. They're in English.
OK， 那我们那个后台的话是有一些就 paper 你们可以看这样子。
And we used a technique called EIS.
EIS， 我们使用一个就是说那个就是一个科技叫 EIS 一个科技。
It stands for electro-interstitial scanning.
OK，
But anyway.
一个 EIS.
Yeah. And so we used several different patches. I'll just use the carnosine patch as an example.
那我们就是使用很多贴片来做测试，其中一个是基肽贴片。
So we found after 30 days of using the carnosine patch that the organs functioned better than they did before using carnosine.
OK， 那我们测试了30天哈，我们可以发现就是说那个器官的一个功能，它有很明显的一个改善。
So elevated tissue repair would be a sign of anti-aging.
OK， 就是细胞的一个修复的话，哈，那就是一个就是可以就是抗老化的一个象征。
So the type of research that we do today is in age reversal.
那我们现在的这个研究的话，都是针对在就是年龄翻转的这个部分。
So what we look at is how can we get a cell that is older and then turn it into a younger, healthier cell.
那我们现在的研究重点是怎么样把一个年纪衰老的一个细胞，把它变成一个年轻的细胞。
Okay, so how many of you have ever seen David Copperfield?
你们有看过大卫魔术的表演吗？有。
Okay. I've seen David Copperfield a few times.
好几次。
Yeah. And so when you see, an illusion like this, right? You say, "Wow, that's amazing. I wonder how he did it."
那你有看到他魔术，你说哇，他是到底怎么做到的这样子
I was in Las Vegas and I went to his new show.
？OK， 他有去那拉斯维加斯去看他的新的秀。
And so one of the things he did, he went standing on a ladder in the middle of the audience.
他就站在那个观众席的一个那个什么楼梯上面这样子。
And they took something like a giant sheet, I don't know how, just like a giant sheet that they put around him.
OK， 他用很大的一个就是一个布幕，然后把它围住这样子。
And when they removed the sheet, there was a flying saucer that was like a UFO that was flying around the room. That was like not quite as big. Maybe it was 7 meters in diameter.
OK， 他就把那布幕打开，然后变成一个盘子，在那个什么，在观众席上面飞，好像是那个什么飞碟一样这样子。
Yeah, and it was like first it was not there, then all of a sudden it's there.
刚开始是不在的，那突然那就出现了这样子。
So when you see something like that, you say, "Oh my God, how is something like that possible?" Because it seems impossible.
OK， 那你第一眼看到说这怎么可能这样子？那如果说你是大卫本人的话，那你会知道就是说这个原理到底是什么
So I would say age reversal is very similar.
？OK， 那我们讲说就是说回春这回事话是非常接近的。
Because this has always been thought of as something that's impossible.
对，那种回春的这件事情，以前都是觉得那是不可能的事情。
But today in biology, we're actually learning that the mechanisms involved in making the cells become younger cells is actually not as complicated as it was first believed.
那现在研究的话，就是说，其实你把细胞变年轻的话，并不是像以前所想的这么的复杂。
And fortunately, there are species on the planet that never age. And so we can look at these creatures, these life forms, and we can learn how to apply what they're doing over to people.
OK， 那我们地球上事实上是有一些种类的生物，它是从来完全不会老化的，所以我们就可以研究它们的到底是怎么回事，就可以那把这个同样的一些事情可以就是用在人类的身上这样子。
So I will tell you, this is not science fiction. This is something we see in our laboratory all the time. It's always the question of, okay, how do we apply this to human beings? Because this would be considered, a drug, and it would require hundreds of millions of US dollars. The estimated cost from Harvard University is about $700 million to take this type of technology out to market. That's what you need for studies and for regulatory approval.
OK， 那其实这个的话，我们在那个什么就是我不会老化那些物种，其实我们在那个研究室看了很多这样子。那我们就是说那他们就是 研究出来，看它的不老化的一些，就可以用在人类身上。那事实上就是说，那个什么，那个在哈佛的那个大学，他们就是可以研究说，他可能要花到大概7000万美金，可以让这个东西的话可以到市场这样子。
Yeah, and this is because you have to do studies for many, many years, and you have to prove, because you're changing the structure of the cell, you have to prove that you're not creating any type of disease like cancer, and you're not harming the body in any way.
因为你这样的话，你的确是要去改变就是细胞的结构。那你当然你测试要知道说，你这样的改变的话是不会导致你就是说变化，比如说你就反而得到什么疾病，像癌症之类这样子。
Yeah, I will tell you though, from my perspective, age reversal is something that is inevitable. Scientifically, it will definitely happen, and it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when.
从我的角度来看的话，就是说那个什么，就是返老回春是绝对以后一定会发生的。那只是说，就不是说可不可能，而是说什么时候会发生这样子。
But at least X39 is partial age reversal, so we have something today.
OK， 那39的话就是一部分，就是可以一部分的返老